Why you keep second guessing yourself, even when you already actually know. Let's imagine that you're in a conversation and suddenly something shifts in the room, in the other person, in the whole situation. And you sense it clearly. And what happens? Immediately you start to question your own senses, your own perception of the situation. Did I imagine that? Am I projecting? Maybe I'm wrong. That exact experience of knowing something and then immediately doubting, immediately talking yourself out of it, is one of the most costly patterns to work with and live with. And the thing is that your intuition probably is not wrong. What is wrong is that you stopped trusting your own knowing. Because again and again, you experience that your sense of things, of the world around you, is often so accurate that you can sense when something has happened in the atmosphere of a room immediately after you walk in. You pick on some clues, some undercurrents that nobody is saying out clearly in words, but you sense tensions, you sense atmosphere between people and in the rooms where you move in. But you have also learned to immediately question what you sense. So instead of trusting yourself, you seek external confirmation. You go to logic, you go to your mind, rather than trusting the sense. And what is the result of this? Is that you make decisions from your mind, decisions that your inner sense, your gut feeling, knew that were wrong. Maybe you stayed in some relationships too long. Maybe you missed some opportunities because you couldn't justify why you feel pulled to them. So you abandoned them. You didn't follow your instinct. It creates a life navigated from the mind, while at the same time there is something deeper constantly tapping at the door. Your intuition. It never stops, but you constantly shut it down. And this is a pattern in an archetypal language of a high priestess archetype in shadow. And the high priestess archetype is one of the most finely tuned ones. It's energy that somebody carries who doesn't just read what is visible, but they sense the currents beneath things. They sense the atmosphere in the room. They sense what somebody is carrying inside before they even say anything. And it's a genuine gift. It is formed in children who are acutely sensitive to what is happening around them, including in the unconscious of the people around them. So maybe if you were little and you carry this sense of things, you realized something about the people around you, and they were themselves either unaware or unwilling to admit it. And you said it out loud. And their reaction to being seen that clearly by you made them to dismiss it, deny it, and tell you that you are imagining things. So this taught you that your perception is a problem. It causes conflict, it causes negative reaction from others. And this made you doubt it because it was not confirmed, but it was denied. It was maybe even laughed at. So the message you absorbed is what you sense, it's not safe to trust it. So the reality is that you have a compass that never lies, and it has been reading the room accurately. You just learn to not trust it. And what it is costing you is a constant confusion and inner conflict in you between the knowing and between the voices that want to shut this knowing down. It's the constant self-doubt. And this creates this kind of low-level anxiety, because when you stop trusting your inner signal, you stop trusting yourself, which means you are constantly seeking the truth, seeking clarity from outside of yourself. And that has consequences that go far beyond any single decision. It creates a climate in our life that keeps us away from peace of mind, alignment with ourselves, and clarity. So how to start moving back into clarity? How to start tuning into that voice, into that signal that is truly guiding you in each moment? Let's start with small things and inviting you to practice. When you're making a choice, everyday life, what to eat for lunch, which road to take to go to work or to go to home. Don't ask yourself what makes sense. Ask what feels right in you. Treat this as little experiments where you're trusting your senses, your inner sense of direction instead of your mind. So this allows you to explore that the signal is still there. And is it telling you, and where is it leading you? And what happens when you trust it? Because you are not rebuilding something that is broken. You are learning to listen to something that never stopped speaking to you. So what happens when you really start to reconnect with this inner signal? Because the High Priestess archetype, fully awake in you, is not a small thing. It's an inner compass so finely tuned that it becomes your most reliable guide in life. It's the ability to know what is right, what is off, what is yours to follow before any external evidence catches up. And for people who carry this archetype strongly, this gift rarely involves just you, because you are the one who senses danger before it lands. You find the path through confusion when others only see confusion. And in times of disruption and collective disorientation, and we are clearly living in such a time, people who can navigate from genuine inner knowing, they carry something rare, not just for themselves, but actually for everybody around them. So if you sense that it is you that I'm talking about here, if you recognize the pattern of sensing things clearly and then immediately going into inner battle about them and not willing to trust them, I want you to invite to take the Shadow Archetypes quiz. You can find the link in the description. It helps you explore which is the main shadow archetype that has influenced your life most so far, and how to start turning it into its full beautiful expression and a resource as it's really meant to be in your life.